And welcome back to the ESL relegations. Apologies for the delay, but we are getting into this one. The ORKS are on the CT side, taking on TSM for their last chance to make it into the ESL Challenger League for next season. We are on board the TSM hype train, and we'll see whether or not they can close out this series in a simple and confident fashion. SNX burst man forward into the pistol round. He's ready to spot several players out to this banana position, but so far, so little contact in the early round.
Yeah, pretty aggressive stance for someone who's only got one teammate to work with, and you can see it nearly does cost him his life there. We get the smoke down early. I don't think TSM will opt to go through that, but good damage, some good banana control thus far.
Just that initial prod, first and foremost, they'll be aware of the goosh down as well. They would have heard that. 6 HP on the man set. SNX hasn't really got much breathing room to play with at this stage. TSM will now slow things down again, bursting forward off the back of a very slow default, and now they'll try and re-aggress back into that B-bomb site, but now they've formed up more passive. 3 players on the defense.
Yeah, very ready for this. So there's a lot of still not feeling too good for TSM. Flay on the edge of the smoke, definitely going to go a bit overlooked. He'll take the one frag, right? The Julie's on high that we expect to pop off. It's SNX from Dark on low HP that finds 3. That's a beautiful pistol round from SNX. Absolute magic. And I guess while they all had their backs turned to him, he was able to capitalize.
I mean, very clearly, because there's no circumstance other than that where you get 3 headshots, 3 kills on 6 HP. He was the mute point in that defense. That's the reason why he was so passive. Man alive, ORKS coming out on top in one of the most unlikely fashions. TSM now down to the force buy in the second round. It should have been there to start, honestly. Not to be, though. Automatics will be out for the ORKS camp. We're going to try and shut this down. TSM, though, second chances to return fire and gain an early lead. Down in that mid position where, again, the nades and utility will get sent up just to draw attention away from the real insertion point of TSM. JACKZ will get boosted up into the apartments, but no one's there to receive him.
Flash out towards middle, get this bracket control. Scout out for Flake. Does have to be a bit careful, could easily be overwhelmed here. Or being a bit cheeky, sticking around if you ask me. He's just about able to take it away. It's all him. On the MP9, trying to do the damage. He does come away with a couple, but they've lost a fair amount. Numbers here, Turtle in towards the pit. Awkward fight for him, can't get it done. Just down to 1 in the form of Olymp. They know where he's at. The bomb is Audi. And they are indeed going to go for this B plant, but yeah, the round has been blown wide open. Olymp, unfortunately, has completely missed this rotation as well, right? So he thinks it's going to be A for the foreseeable future. He'll figure it out, but that's bought them a good 10 to 15 seconds.
Inters can hear the rotate as well. M4 knows that he's coming. He'll call that info to Valde, who's also upgraded to another M4 here. And TSM will just close in the pincers on this last man. 4K up for Olymp if he can make it happen. No kit in play, though, and he's giving away all the info to TSM. So they can just play around his position, hold the bomb itself, but without taking a directive fight until necessary. Swing out. Valde's there for the closer. Triple for him in this round, and TSM indeed can answer back to the ORKS side, despite losing that pistol in an unlikely fashion. Perhaps the returning round is going to be a little bit more impactful for the T's.
All right. This gets very interesting. Disastrous position for ORKS to be in. Talk about this one a lot when it does indeed crop up, but yeah, CT side, you feel like you're forced into spending all your cash, and then you eco. But that buy that comes back, man, is still pretty bad. You know, you just up a creek, nothing coming. And it's very interesting to me that we obviously saw for a long time when we were on the old economy system, when teams would get reset, that they just kind of pull a few deagles out, keep a few $100s in the back pocket, take the eco, and then buy into the next round. A lot of teams here, you're not often on the complete minimum loss bonus buy, but a lot of teams opt to go for the full force, and it doesn't really work as effectively as maybe it did a couple of years ago. A lot more teams have the protocols in place against the forces, so I would be interested to see if we get a swing back towards just the deagle buys. Olymp is the most dangerous man here with this M4 somehow still alive from coffins. We'll see what he can get done.
Might need someone to wrap around and grab that M4 as soon as he goes falling, because CYPHER is taking that casualty with particular ease, ready for SNX on the boost as well. And that's all the main defensive being removed. Not much in terms of the casualty counts against TSM. 5 on 3 as the bomb goes down. And the CTs will try and move their way in, try catch off something. The HEs seem like they're placed pretty well, but not a lot of damage being done to valde. Galil's in the back. M4 continues to hold his contact alongside Inters. Turtles can move in. He's spotted and sprayed back. The AK of CYPHER does catch him, but Moonwalk is there for a responsive trade. And ideally, they'd find this kill, get that AK right back into T-side hands. Moonwalk is going to try and grab it and run for it, but the firing squad at main knows exactly what's going on here. MoDo does get picked up. It's another casualty, almost 2 more to line up. But in the end, it does go the way of the T-side line. 3 remain alive, and they can hold the lead.
Pretty decent stuff from TSM. Should be able to get this one cleanly as well with deleting everybody there. I think they'll be very happy with the way that things have gone in the early stages. Better than winning the pistol, for sure, with the position they're going to find themselves in. And immediate pressure on ORKS into that first rifle buy. So a great position here. Obviously, TSM's map pick. We're expecting them to get this one. The nuke might be a bit tougher, but still a competition over there. If they can find this map really, really cleanly, and they are on that road, they are beginning on that road, then I think that, ORKS will find it difficult to bounce back. But TSM thus far, I think we're very impressed. Super clean, super clinical. Pistol rounds can be a bit tough. They got caught off by the 3 on B. Since then, they've looked immaculate.
And they should also figure out what's going on here in this round. There's, again, a passive early round in play from TSM. They were initially prodding aggressive into that bracket position. As valde and CYPHER start peeking in, they'll start to realize that actually there is a stack in. They should do. They'll check all their positions. I've not seen anybody yet. CYPHER actually keeping the player over at Pillar. That might actually cost him his life. And valde being a little bit more concerned about it. Not that easy to drop an AK, but now he's heard the massive, massive footsteps. So he'll call it into his teammates. Just go to the A side, boys. I'll hold him off for as long as I can. He does get 3 on the way out. There's a second rifle for them to pick up. And honestly, that could be just about enough here for the ORKS.
Yeah, I think so. They'll just take the rifles that they've retrieved, give the round across. Not really able to present too much. But still decent, right? When you've invested nothing, finding a round like this always feels good, where you get a couple of kills, get a couple of rifles on the way out. But I'm always a fan of actually saving. Flay being a little cheeky there. Especially with that AK, would be nice to have that into the next round. SNX maybe has a bit more authority to play aggressive, especially if he finds a kill. So, decent damage done. It's not like the money is perfect for TSM. They'll be kicking themselves a little bit. They let one too many players go down. All the same, ORKS, what have you got for us in this follow-up round? This is the big question. They really do need to deliver here.
We'll have the rifles in play to try and do that. Again, the AK being saved in from the previous alongside one of those M4s. Unfortunately, not able to stack out to an AWP on the drop. So Turtle just rocking the M4 of his own. 4 of them in play for looking for, not looking for the ORKS. Looking for ORKS, I guess you could say. That team is no longer looking for an org, in fact, Scrib. So the Frenchman doing all right. TSM also doing pretty all right here in this map thus far. Being a bit more louder about their defaults, trying to look for some early picks in from wallbangs without actually going for the definitive kills. The double HEs down from the CT forces actually does quite a little amount to CYPHER, a lot less than what the single HE had done to the CT side. And SNX down to 74. Decent chunk damage done to the CT side. But again, very little in terms of actual contact until finally SNX does get spotted.
Inters with a bit of a lurk play here. Could find a catch. Olympus is certainly watching the angle, but is not fast enough. Inters takes his head clean off. Must have heard him jumping up there, I think. Flay. Oh, this is such an awkward spot. Trying to just find anything at this point. His teammate lets him down a little bit as well. Turtles will trade through the smoke, but they have absolutely demolished mid. Pressure applied by the nades, by Inters' position. It's really left ORKS with nowhere to go. And so well played again by TSM. Very good.
Yeah, ORKS out of that. mostly down to MoDo's efforts. We didn't quite see it from his perspective, but he transitioned his he had a spray transfer straight up from the top of quad area straight onto the player that was in boiler. No reaction until the kill came in from Turtle's trade. Hell of a execution in from TSM. Looked very confident. ORKS looked very flat-footed, honestly. They weren't expecting that amount of force. Now CYPHER will try to take those last 2 rifles out of their hands, which, considering the investment they had here, might leave them with nothing to play with in the next round. Lost bonus would not stack up to a full-on buy. Have seen SNX this time, unable to get the full-blown kill. Oh, does find a tap on the body in the end. And Turtle's left big with only 23 HP to pray that they don't hunt him. They won't do so. But yeah, 4 casualties for 4 rounds on TSM.
Really, really solid stat line there. I think they'll be more than happy with the way that this game has kicked off. But we'll see. Is there anything else to come out of the ORKS? Still some money to spend into this round, and AWP as well is a new thing to deal with, as it were. Decent nade damage to kick off from TSM. Doesn't land onto the same player, but chipping away at HP bars is always good. Nearly a find there around the corner for CYPHER. Of course, one of the great entries at this level of the game, looking to make himself known in this matchup. SNX doesn't quite find him and can't stay alive either. Olymp not around to help out. SNX, rock and a hard place there, isn't it, really? Stick around or try and escape. Either way, you are risking your life.
The casualty taken here for TSM. Advantage in their name once again, as they do leave 1 lurker. The AWP ready for the execute, and they are making their way into brackets, and JACKZ has fallen for their efforts. 4 on 4 still, 3 players overall on this A bomb site. So the ideal solution is CYPHER to get this second player on the B site and then just force out a rotation from TSM, but that's not happening. They look pretty dead set in going for this. Walk out back into the AWP for a 2nd kill on Flay. 3rd frag almost landed on MoDo. Instead, he's just tagged on the leg shot. Flay similarly low. Olymp does get caught by CYPHER, and that should buy the rotation room.
Kind of wacky leaving CYPHER out there on his own, but he does the damage and indeed has the confidence to find the kills. They may well still look to go for this on the ORKS side of things, but potentially we could argue ill-advised. They will show presence. Smoke is down, but CYPHER's in quite deep, as you can see. Turtle's somewhat aware of this. He's the man with the utility. There's no kit available is the big thing, so they have to kind of get a move on. Oh, and then bolstering of the defense. Inters finds a frag through the smoke. That might just do it, to be honest. Turtle takes a big tag as well, so yeah, definitely on the way out. TSM not putting a foot wrong, man, since that 2nd round. Really, really solid stuff.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I hope to see from them in this circumstance, right? Like, we've seen some good glimpses from them. I mentioned some of the results they've had. A close against Big, win over looking for Org. Now, of course, 3D Max. They've shown foundations are there. It's a case of building upon those and refining them to the point where they can make it a decent affair. And they can qualify for the ESL Challenger League over the ORKS side. And these last 5 rounds especially, they have been doing just that. You're right, they haven't put a foot wrong in their streak. ORKS can only scrape together the consolation prizes. Max loss bonus for them with the AWP and the M4 saved, indicates there will be another buy on the table. 3rd M4 comes out. Moonwalk might have some issues. SNX has another M4 to work with. He actually goes with a 5-7 passing that M4 back to his teammates, so yeah, things continuing to look a little bit worse for wear on the ORKS buy-ups, and TSM, well, they'd be happy to take advantage of that.
Aggression coming in here from ORKS. All 3 A defenders in the apartments. Surely not going to be expected. Big damage. Need to convert some of these frags. 3rd man in the form of Flay actually drops back, but it has bought time. Rotations to come round, and Flay is unexpected in towards mid. Big frag there. Really big. Oh, he might go a bit deep on that peak, though. 2 versus 2. Olymp in on the site. They know how this one finishes, to be honest with you. A really weird round and a very strange game state that we find ourselves in. TSM are very unsure what the defense looks like right now. If they rotated anyone across, is it even 2 players that they've rotated in? They don't really know. So they will pull off and go for a different avenue of attack in towards pit. Olin playing very safe. There's 2 Molotovs available, but they are opting to go hard contact here. Utility starts coming out. MoDo ready for the peak. Brilliant frag. That brings them back into a winnable situation.
5-7 versus 2. At least they're both tagged up. AK also on the floor in the brackets that he can recover. The question is, does he try his hand at the retake here? The money's not that great for the Orcs, so perhaps it'll be the only way they can get a decent buy-in. Look out to that broken wall, find the AWP, and now you seriously consider that save. The Incendiary trying to force one player out of there. MoDo will burn quite heavily, might not survive with the bomb blast radius. Inters most certainly will. MoDo's just going to have to run for it, and he won't escape in time. So, damaging round there for TSM. Again, 4 casualties to be taken. But for Orcs, it wasn't an eco. They bought into that one. They brought the guns out, at least as many as they could, and they only recovered an AWP for it. So, especially with the cash being where they're at for the TSM side, I mean, it's more than fine for them just to go continue buying into this one. They get more AKs out. They're up to 6 rounds now, 1 away from winning the half. And the Orcs just need to get some rounds more than anything else here, because that's the one thing they're missing.
Well, indeed. Yeah. And they're relatively important, I think. So, hopefully for them, they're able to get some on the board. And hopefully for us, the question of competition that we wanted here this evening will indeed display some presence. Decent nade damage from Orcs in the early stage, so not a bad way to kick things off. However, no committal to the fight just yet. I think it's this kind of 6-round mark. It really is important as the team that's in the lead to take it, right? If they can clean up, finish off everybody here on the Orcs side, they'll have hardly any money. Half buy at best, maybe a risky force buy. And suddenly you're looking down the barrel of a super dominant half. So really paramount that they are able to get this over the line and just keep Orcs in this impossible position.
Flay set with his AWP, and he's been hitting some pretty good shots so far in this matchup. First contact to that A side, maybe get JACKZ out of the fold and dive back in to hold down short from a much more passive angle. In the right call for the AWP to make here on the Orcs camp. TSM. I'll bring that bomb back into aggression. Moonwalker's been caught for some damage out of the apartment's face, and Flay's forced back to a much more passive position, so they should have full brackets dominion if they so desire. Smoke's coming in at Moto. Apps Pop maybe getting set up here. valde doesn't have a flash. In fact, nobody has a flashbang here for TSM. JACKZ starts walking. Moonwalk can't see them. Turtle does get caught. Finally, 2 players on the bomb site. Oh, the swings from JACKZ are just too good. And Flay can only get 1 trade. Needs a second and a third and a fourth, and they're just not coming in for him. JACKZ with a triple to enter up and open up the bomb site. Olymp can't get much out of this. Plant will be secured, and there shouldn't be a retake.
Yeah, I mean, it really sucks for Orcs, man. You have to feel for them. There's these past couple of rounds especially, there's like 1 kill, potentially 2 that goes their way, and the round is very, very different. But the opportunities to get them were there, which I think is the difference between some of the very early rounds. It felt like TSM were all over them, getting sneaky frags, outplaying them in terms of the rotations and things like that, overwhelming bomb sites. But here it's like, yeah, if Flay lands another one, stays alive a little second longer, then his B players can rotate in, push through that Moto smoke safely, and indeed try and win the round that way. But it never feels good to save. When you're 6-1 down, there is this feeling inside of yourself as a pro player to have that confidence in yourself to be like, yo, let's go for this. I can kill these guys. I'm better. But you have to check that confidence a little and unfortunately play the percentage game, which can be a bit straining, a bit frustrating at this kind of a scoreline.
Yeah, 6 rounds to the good, and TSM have won the half on T side, and well, this one is shaping up to possibly be a bit of a one-sided affair, honestly, for the solo mid camp. Plenty players mid for the Orcs. Look how far they're charging in. I think the T's have read it as well. They're hearing those footsteps. MoDo with his back turn. Oh, and CYPHER can still get the kills. So much damage done. JACKZ can sneak in from underpass, get 2 of his own. Oh, not even a casualty there. Not even a kill for the Orcs. It just goes from bad to worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sums this game up thus far. Despite whatever they try, the Orcs can't find success anywhere. Really is quite shocking in a bit of a sad way, ultimately. Right kind of idea, but TSM just looking crisper, looking far more aware of the situation than Orcs ever expected. And as talked about, some legends in this game, some great potential behind this team, at least in a sort of tier 2, 1.5 kind of sense. Valde and CYPHER are the two that are looking very impressive, but the entire kind of team is at a pretty decent stat line in terms of the frags. But it is CYPHER for me. I think some of the impact that this guy's been having with a couple of those entries, bit of the lurk frag in like the 4th round. Obviously just then, staying alive despite all the odds. So yeah, they're really, really hard to put away, these players, and playing at another level right now. It is great to watch, but not great to be on the end of.
Yeah, ORKS can speak to that firsthand, and it is good CYPHER taking the top end of the board. I mean, for him individually, like, he hasn't quite gone to the same level as he did during his ITB days in the major. And I think that a lot of people had a lot of expectations from after the fact, and maybe TSM hasn't really facilitated that in the best way. So,
I mean, it's possible, but on that conversation, just briefly, I think also some of the ITB players were not quite on his level of potential. You know, Rallen looked good at the major. Other than that, I think he was in a position where they gave him all the resources, and then skill-wise, I think he is kind of better than that ilk of ITB players. Not necessarily the case here. You've got someone like Valde and MoDo that really want to get involved, and they are spreading things a bit more evenly, let's say.
Well, TSM are finding success because of all 3 of those players. As of right now, they got the first kill on SNX to the hands of JACKZ, who's Mach 10. Got Olymp set with the M4. Flashes going around that corner towards the cross, which has been completely smoked off. Valde's detected Olymp. Turtle can't do much from back here at Coffins. 2 casualties, untraded. Not even a lot of damage being done to TSM here. And Flay and Moonwalker are even just considering the idea of just saving before they even hit the rotations. Flay will try and provide some exit support for Turtle, but he's not getting past CYPHER there. The AWP now just has to run back into the A site, save the weapon. TSM up to a 9-1 score. Stompy stuff today in the relegations, it seems.
It is rough. It is very rough. Yeah. Orcs can't get anywhere near a round right now. But that's kind of what we were expecting. Maybe not this one-sided, but TSM, our favourites, into one of their favourite maps as well at the moment. And we did talk about the veto, the way that TSM are. There's very little area in which you can punish them. And we have also talked about the Orcs having some decent individuals. That's a lot of what they have relied on over the past sort of 2 or 3 seasons of the ECL circuit, let's say. You know, they've not played quite up at that level, but it's obviously changed hands a little bit. And they can perform maybe bottom end of ECL, top end of advanced, sure, because of those individuals. But we talked a lot about the team play, the depth as a squad is not quite there. They're very fluid, they're very flexible. Can be great in the more puggy environment, but when it comes to a team like TSM, they're going to have way more protocols in place. It's not as great. You know, you have to be an incredibly strong team, an incredibly well-fragging team, and they just aren't at that level for me.
I'm still not seeing any of the backup. None of the turnarounds that we hope to see out of the Orcs side, but you are right. TSM outclassing them on the firepower, and they're still playing the careful kind of game, right? They're not taking Orcs for granted. They're not just trying to play silly rushes into a bomb site and give away some basic kills, lose out these rounds. They're still slowing down, playing behind the smokes, forcing forward, timing it well against Olimp's initial smoke. Molotovs, of course, coming in to drive them out of the banana controls. They have that full part of the map. And JACKZ can open things up with a frag onto Moonwalk out of the boiler control. Not sticking around for more, though. He just backs away with the man advantage.
Do like the info gather there from ORKS. They'll be pretty ready for an apartments appearance, but not that fast. They actually were more ready for a B hit. They have completely misread this situation. Not sure if it's
Wow.
intentional by TSM, but, you know, it has worked perfectly. Obviously, they have a quick look down mid. And like, oh, well, there must be B. CYPHER is all the way up here. The rest of the team's going to join him after faking out A. But no, it was 4 in apartments. Certainly unconventional, to be fair to ORKS. But again, unable to catch a break. Oh, man. They thought they were in. They thought they had the brains in this round, but unfortunately not the case. Another save coming in. Double digits for TSM. How deep does it go? 11-1 on the cards.
I mean, I didn't know that CYPHER tried to change roles into a lurker, but he's doing pretty well for it in that round. Beautiful stuff, drawing all the attention away from the real site here. They bought it hook, line, and sinker. Well done, TSM. 10 on the board, like you mentioned. 9 in the lead for them, approaching the last round of the half. And there still has not been much of a look in for the CT forces of the ORKS. They at least hold on to a couple of those weapons. They can have a bit of extra firepower and make a definitive buy happen in the last round of the half. But again, I said it a very long time ago, Scriv, what we need to see is rounds from them, and we haven't seen that yet.
Alrighty. Give us 2 ORKS. Can we get it? Resurgence at the tail end of the half. It is a classic when you are being dominated to just find that last round out of nowhere. TSM looking to solidify the fact, but there it is. Play going to find the entry. Feels like a long time since we said that in favor of ORKS. A clean one as well. Able to get away, not taking any further damage, etc., etc. So a nice way to kick off the round.
Yeah, JACKZ just fragged out first. Well, they heard that as well. Turtle well revealed to the T side line. Are they aware of him going aggressive, though? They've got the Molotov set in. Moonwalker on the site, seeing the flashbangs coming out, putting some down to his own counter utility, but can't hold on to any of the kills. Finally, Flay comes in with 1, but the second denied by CYPHER. 3-on-2 for TSM. Bomb will go down. Retake has to come through with the last round of the half of the ORKS camp. Olib and SNX praying for a miracle here.
But not a hop, skip, and a jump. Depends on how this first fight goes. Olib absolutely got to find one and just stay alive while he can buy some time for his teammate to come in. Taking the high road. What a shot! Gets the second as well. It's just MoDo at the back end of the site. SNX now to clean it up. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Denied by MoDo. And you couldn't buy a round if you were ORKS, man. Absolutely unbelievable first half from TSM. We're going to have to see whether things continue for them and if they can clean this one up quickly in the second.
Must-win pistol for the ORKS, otherwise they will be done in map 1. TSM. I question a little bit about the Inferno pick. I'm not questioning it now, Scriv. CT side up for them. Pistol going live, and the ORKS spreading out towards mid. At least going to catch Valde off guard as he tries to extend and spot for info and kills. The start now leads them to fall back into that banana control. But MoDo still hunting for more here. He's spotted. As is Olymp about to be spotted out the apartment's control. He's sandwiched between the two CT players, and he does find MoDo in the end.
Big kill. Inter's in a good spot, but can't make use of it, unfortunately, and now is being hunted as well. Oh my god. At least he's kind of splitting the T side a little bit, so JACKZ could really do some damage here. Oh, I don't know whether it's going to matter all that much, though. Only one falling for the T side. They kind of have the run of the mill in terms of where they can go. Mr. JACKZ sticking around on A. Pretty certain that it is indeed the A bomb site. Nice little fadeaway shot. They do have to watch themselves. We've also got CYPHER to contend with a kit for JACKZ. Certainly is doable for TSM, and of course they're going to be confident. They're going to be feeling themselves after that first half. So you'll see here, contacting their way in, spotted by the pit player, big damage onto CYPHER. JACKZ trying to find a head, but just doesn't come off for him. So CYPHER will just save, and there you go. ORKS have bought themselves some time, right? We'd love to see a streak out from them. I think they definitely do deserve it towards the end of that first half. Rounds are coming very, very close. So yeah, they certainly deserve a bit more time on this map. Just get them warmed up, moving into Nuke at this point.
I did have some fuzzy feelings about those two headshots that JACKZ was getting. I was like, oh, this might actually turn into TSM success. But no. CYPHER gooshed, JACKZ down, only one exit found at the tail end of that pistol. Indeed, it does go the way of the ORKS. And you are right, like they do kind of deserve a bit of a return, given how close things were getting over the course of that, the end of that CT side. I mean, Olymp damn near clutched a 3K on that retake. And to call back as well to that first half, remember, it was 11 rounds in a row for TSM. The one round that ORKS won was the pistol, so not impossible that this force buy is going to work out for them, and you can sympathize exactly why, given what happened on that T side. Scouts set in, SMGs on two others, 5-7s for Inters and Valde. Flay and Olymp are the two players that are pressing on towards that mid control. The AK wraps the corner, and JACKZ is executed.
Looking good. Max 10 in for another kill. They will be kept at bay by a smoke, but ultimately nothing presenting here. MoDo, there you go. He does manage to find one. A dangerous spot in the pit. Oh, yeah, fellas. Yeah. He's been looking good. Oh, if he got that, man, maybe we would have been on. Unfortunately not. So Valde probably going to try and scoop up a gun here. And they are aware of that fact. So ready and waiting for him. There it is. Target acquired, but tries to look, finds the player up close.
Oh, he's got him.
Maybe. Oh, God. Oh, okay. It landed on the right side. I was a little worried that he'd maybe mess that one up, you know, under pressure and whatnot, but he does get it done. Smart play, to be fair, and should be away here with the AK.
I don't know what it is about these TSM kills, but whenever they get one of those ones where it's like high pressure in situation and they've got that idea that they're on the back foot in this CT side so far, I feel like for some reason, as soon as they hit one of those shots, it's like, oh, okay, this round is back on all of a sudden. Just with the way that they've been playing has been so proficient. But not to be in the last couple of rounds. At least Valde does get away with an AK. He's hearing those footsteps. He knows exactly where those players are at. But the ORKS can't get to him in time. They just hold on to that third. And of course, the force buy came in from TSM in the last round. So nothing much to speak of in the follow-up. It'd be best if Valde goes as passive as possible and protects that AK. TSM are standard on the split as a result of that. Valde will be playing with the main CT force on the B-bomb site. And that's good, because ORKS are leaning into A early.
Quick moves here from ORKS. Not wasting any time at all. Yeah, unfortunately, that AK is probably going to be useless here. See how these two players stack on top of each other. Will do. Oh, goodness. JACKZ should have had that one, shouldn't he? Let's be real. Immediate save once again. So, kind of an anticlimactic finish into this round. Valde really does want to hold the AK. It makes a lot of sense. Getting a few more rounds out. This is where the test is, though, right? Like, can they better them with the rifles? It would be the first rifle round they were able to pick up in the entire game. So, quite the precedent to break here. TSM obviously looking to close things out quickly and just put the fear into ORKS.
Oh. Nah, not nice idea there from CYPHER, the bait and switch with the USP. MoDo actually does get the kill. More out of it. I mean, if they can do, then congratulations. Managed to take 2 kills on the USP. Valde now just have to protect that AK as best as possible. Smoke came down, so that way he is covered off from the ORKS. They can't see him. He will get Flay out of the round as well. So that's the second AK. But the third man would be lovely, but no, he gets a little bit too greedy. And it's a 4th round for the ORKS camp. TSM will still have their buy up though, and they can get the AWP out on MoDo, the M4s on everybody else. Extra headshot potential would have been lovely, but again, you can't have everything in the world.
Okay. Let us see here then what TSM are able to do on their CT side. Deep banana smoke coming in off of the spawn, so maybe some banana control on the cards for them. At the very least, it's going to keep ORKS at bay. They're a little scared to commit into the banana angle. So some decent control for very little by TSM. I do like that.
Oh, CYPHER's got the first. Smoke down banana as well. I think he got the kill completely blinded, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, or maybe playing the edge of that smoke, maybe he was poking out a little bit. Olimp taking a nade down as well, so all sorts are going the way of TSM. Not a lick of damage done to them so far. Running out of this apartment's control, trying to get that A-bomb. So still got time to play with here for the ORKS. The default could also rotate back, but at this point they've got CYPHER as the contact player and 4 defenders on the A play. So TSM have basically locked out the best defense you can get.
Yeah, this is not looking good for ORKS. Is it going to have to defy the odds massively? CYPHER playing things safe as well. Ooh, a little cheeky here. He's sticking around, man. He's still going to get out. Knows his timing's on that pretty perfectly. Smoke going to go down. Rotation comes in. It all works out in the end. But a fake out from ORKS. They are immediately sprinting towards this A-bomb site instead. Only 2 players waiting in tow. One of them is JACKZ. Plays watching him here. Surely gets his frag. He does indeed. MoDo able to find one out towards short, but unfortunately the pit player was lost. Yeah, I was just trying to see where that frag came in. 3 versus 3. They're far away from the action, these rotators, so they will indeed concede the round.
Yeah, not uncommon to see that on Inferno, right? Like I've seen 5-on-5 saves if that B site's been lost in the past. That's a difficult map to retake on, and everyone obviously notoriously discusses B site is the most difficult site to retake on in the entire game. And A site's not that far behind it. So TSM with no money in the back pocket, with no map presence like you mentioned, just makes a lot more sense to hold on to the AWP and M4s, go back in for another gun round. As well as that, you have such a ridiculous lead over the ORKS that you should be pretty okay to let this 1 round go. Maybe any more might become a little bit of a concern, because at that point you start to reach that sort of that buffer room where you think, okay, ORKS might actually have a chance to bring the comeback. But for now, it should be okay for TSM. They will rebuy, they'll get those other M4s back, they'll have the full rifle round, and everything should be okay. And the ORKS start to make this look a lot more decent on the scoreline than it was at the turn of the half.
Yeah, I mean, definitely recovering things, decent position, etc. It is just that case of still being a pretty dominant affair. TSM obviously conceding the last round, didn't necessarily get pummeled, just a little unlucky with their gamble. We're still banking on them to take this one over the line. Decent damage onto SNX to kick things off.
Down to 50 HP to start, so not ideal here for the ORKS camp. And again, that's all just coming from utility on the TSM side. No aggressive plays, again playing behind those smokes and not even popping out mid to try and find a pick or just leave some information there with the AWP in play. He's on the B site instead, holding out for first contact. Rotations might be a little bit slow from the CT forces, so if he gets overwhelmed here, then that might lead to a Opening kill that leads into the bomb site itself. The shots on the collateral, though. The timing couldn't be worse for Turtles in the back. SNX in the front goes down to the first bullet, and MoDo waits and baits. He's ready for Olymp, but he's not quite ready for the kill. Flay comes up. Moonwalk can hold off against the rotating angles. The bomb can go down, but TSM have a man advantage here.
I do like the position that ORKS have found themselves in, though. 4 versus 3. Big nade damage coming through there. A little unlucky to not fully find the frag. 1 kill goes their way, and we are really on here. I just feel the post plants from ORKS are really solid. Moonwalk waiting around this corner for... Oh, someone's come his way. Flash going to go around, trying to keep players at bay. He almost gets taken down off the back of that. It's Flay that spots the first. There is indeed trade coming...
Shot on from the AWP. Backed up for Inters. He's got no time. He's out of there. Shot on the second player. A quadra from Flay in that round. The hero for the ORKS side. Like you mentioned, the post plant did hold solid. But oh man, that got dicey towards the tail end there. I thought some of the kills coming in from that Coffin's position was going to be enough. Barely having enough ammo for JACKZ right there. TSM gave it a good look. This T side has turned up, though. I am starting to get a little bit more concerned now for TSM because we're within that 5-round lead. And the buyback of the CT side is no longer as confident. 5-7s, Deagles, M4s, SMGs will come out. The nade damage, again, fantastic in the early round against these banana players. 3 players overall at the face, flash in. CYPHER could get himself a kill. Turtle, man to full. Second player faced in. SNX down. Triple not quite found, but Moonwalk's on AHP. And a 4-on-3 for TSM. Olymp following suit on MoDo now. Down and out to a 3-on-3 here. They're trying to trade back, but valde has his nerve. Olymp, all that remains. AK, not even with the bomb out on the side. Fighting on as TSM finally look for their map points. They'll look to lock it in right here. Olymp can isolate 1 frag, but 10 points of health for the second headshot. Oh my god, he's not going to pull this off. This is a 3K involved, but not the quadra. Inters keeps it held together. It is 12-6 at long last for solo mid. ORKS are now up against 6 map points. Situation dire, as it seemed like they were starting to get back into this matchup. They started to spool up, but not at this stage here. Look at the returning investment from the ORKS from such a confident affair to now only 2 AKs available. And MoDo can start things off again. Olymp down and out. Turtle returns back with a Tech 9. M4 of JACKZ is going to fall away from position and leave the AWP of MoDo standing on the brackets control. 4v4 for now. Leg shots continue to pour in the damage. There's another shot as SNX falls. The M4 of valde unable to get much of this 3-on-3 situation now, making it 2 as MoDo continues to frag. He's got 3 kills on that AWP now. Flay charge around that corner ahead of the smokes. The shots continue to ring out from that library control, and the M4 of JACKZ waiting for him. Bursts through, doesn't land it. Flay continuing to give this a decent effort here from the ORKS. Plant can be secured, and MoDo's being aggressed upon by Moonwalk. A lifeline may still be in play for the Poles here. It's CYPHER left to try and clutch this whole thing. No info on the exact position on the bomb site itself. Smokes down, he's seen a shoulder, but Moonwalk locks in a 7th survival round for the ORKS. Still map point for TSM, and there's a couple of high rollers on the economy line, so there could potentially be a buy up here as well. Taking a moment to discuss that, but opting not to go heavy into this next round. We will see SMGs and upgrade pistols and a half invest overall. MoDo saving for the significant AWP. 4-man stack towards the A-bomb site. Only CYPHER to defend the B play, so if they don't end up committing there, I mean, the ideal situation is you run into that gamble. But of course, it's called a gamble for a very good reason here. MAC-10's set and ready, and it's just this slow walk up into that B-bomb site here for the ORKS. Yeah, CYPHER should get overwhelmed. There's not really much that he can do here in this one, so TSM just hold on to what little they have. They didn't have much to begin with anyway. This will be number 8 for the ORKS, continuing to hold on to whatever life they can here.
Hello, I'm back in. Apologies for that. Not much I can really do out of my hands, but yes, getting kind of interesting, isn't it, to be fair? I did fear with my little disconnect that maybe things would be over, but in fact not the case. So really getting interesting here. TSM on the 12, but doesn't feel as secure as it once did. Still a lot of work. That's kind of hilarious down below. Is valde going to be able to survive? Oh my goodness, I think he actually might, you know.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, he will. Hold the doorway. Ball back. Ooh, he's played a dangerous game, but he's got it. There we are. 1 AK held in for TSM, but again, it was an eco, so I get it towards the gun rounds here to the buy up. And AWP is in the hands of MoDo, of course, going very light on his own investment just to bring up this AWP and still have 3.5 grand available for the next round. ORKS are closing in on TSM. Maybe 1 or 2 more gun rounds left in after this. Well, TSM will have to make a concession. Go to overtime if that... I mean, it felt so unlikely at the turn of the half. Again, 11-1 was the scoreline for TSM. Made set. AWP boosted. Just seen by MoDo, but he can't react in time.
Big frag. If ORKS are able to get this one, you know, we would assume that they will find double digits and start to really threaten the overtime. But we'll see. Flay looking for more entries this time out towards the A side of things. CYPHER hidden in banana, a bit of a cheesy angle. I don't think he's necessarily taken this too often. Misses the opportunity though, and although the dink lands, SNX has found a big kill there. They are so lucky on the TSM side that he doesn't have the cavalry with him. You know, they would probably just go charging in towards B after that frag. Still looking towards A, but obviously it weakens up the defense.
Or moonwalk for JACKZ. But JACKZ still wins the fight. That's all important. A 3-on-3. Look to try and adjust back towards this long control, which Turtle is walking into in case of timing. His back is turned towards JACKZ's peak. The AWP can't recover either. And they get back onto the bomb site. 25 seconds for the ORKS to make this round happen. Flay. Oh! JACKZ has turned away. A victim to his own curse. And SNX gets enters at 11 HP. The plant can still be secured. And valde just wondering how it all went wrong.
That's so insane. That is so insane, man. Not much point in him going for this, to be honest. And with him surviving, they might just be able to scrape together some kind of a buy. At the very least, there'd still be that threat of the AK into the next round. He's potentially just looking for some exits here. Pretty common for them to save in pit. Now, little does he know, didn't really go for the super safe plant. So they are going to have to find a way out of the bomb site. They're going towards mid. So well read here by valde and his positioning. Potential to take them both back. And he does just that. So decent damage. You can see there is indeed cash available, but it might be lacking in places. It might be lacking in places, especially if they kind of continue winning rounds without fighting frags. But the big thing is the fact that he's able to save an AWP across, which I think will absolutely influence the buy.
Hold on as much cash as possible. And for the ORKS, I mean, they still had several players at $8,000. So in terms of the buy, there won't be limitations for this round. Of course, you would have loved to have keep those couple of players in, so that way that you can continue sustaining buys, because another damaging round for TSM, it could actually lead to more issues in the next buy or the buy afterwards. Is where you're sort of looking at the ORKS side saying that's where things could really fall apart, especially as CYPHER gets Olymp here, and now that's a starting kill damage done towards him, but also to SNX, who tanked that Molotov sent down by the CT forces in a banana. Meanwhile, the walkout towards mid into the brackets control with ORKS is once again posted for MoDo to land against Turtles. Counter flashing for the CT forces. JACKZ will swing, get dinks on towards one as MoDo's forced to trade back onto Moonwalk. Low HP for him. 2 players left on the ORKS side. TSM, it looks like it's finally closing time.
Yeah, going to need a real big turnaround here if ORKS are to stay alive. I think they've given it a valiant effort, but we definitely expected this one to be over a little sooner. There's a flank coming in from behind. Surely seals the deal here. It does indeed. 13-9. A lot of effort required from TSM, considering that first half in particular. We expected a bit of a streak, a bit of a run, but goodness me, that was within 2, maybe 3 rifle rounds. That was a hell of a lot closer than I think it ever should have been.
Yeah, especially when you consider it was 11-1 at the half. Like, I think from that point, everyone would usually ride that